this person would work on a film set.
Ah, okay.
So what this is?
Zip. Oh, wow.
Reap.
Yeah.
Best boy.
Hello, welcome to NYFA Real Talk. My name is Nikki Muller. I'm so lucky today. I am surrounded by talent. We are celebrating the nominees of the 7th National Youth Film Awards. So I'm talking to filmmakers, I'm talking to actors, but right here, right now, the category is animation. Your films are phenomenal. You've been nominated. A lot of people don't really realize the hard work that goes behind films, especially a short film.
When I tell them how the workflow is like, you know, what we need to do from scratch to modeling, storyboarding, concept art and everything, and they'll go, whoa, I didn't know it was that much work, you know. They're like, yeah, now you know. That's why Disney, Finding Dory took like 5 years to come out after its announcement, so like.
Yeah. It's a real labor of love, right? Yeah. So for you, Shu, and for your film, what would you say was the biggest challenge? I mean, it's such a beautifully done film, but was there a roadblock in the way where you're like, oh man, I didn't see that coming, what are we gonna do? And then you actually overcame it.
I think it was mostly because we were in quarantine. And then I was working like alone at home. And then I had to get the materials. And then a lot of things were like shut off, kind of. Yeah, so everything took a little bit, like 50% longer than I thought it would.
Were there challenges that you didn't foresee?
Yeah, because we only had 6 months to do it. So it was mainly the communication between each other, as a director, I was trying, and the scriptwriter, I was trying to get everybody's like bits of ideas and then putting it together into a script.
Let's talk about Bird Feed. You guys all had a chance to watch each other's films, of course.
Right.
But it's so much fun. It made me
thank you.
giggle too, okay? And I found it actually just beautiful to see, visually beautiful to see. It's definitely an element of karma there. Tell me, is karma a theme?
The initial story development of Bird Feed was really, really ridiculous. It was supposedly about like birds being mutated and going on a war with humanity and stuff like that. So it was too ambitious for a 6-man team and a 6-month job, right?
Yeah.
It's a message that, you know, treat others how you want to be treated, and the same will come back to you. So the film is basically the old man treating the birds, you know, really badly. And then the birds just did something really natural, pooping. And then a chain of events happened and...
It's so relatable. You reap what you sow.
Yep.
Colleen, what's your logline? What's your pitch if you had to give us a brief of this film that comes from your heart? What would it be?
It's basically 3 separate stories. These characters come across a sexual situation which ends up in some kind of undesirable scenario, and like there's a plot twist at the end as well. And this is basically a comedy that is a commentary on the highly sanitized way that Singapore approaches sex, be it in our education or be it through our family dynamics and all that kind of things.
Today we're gonna learn about sex. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. If you don't want to get pregnant, don't have sex.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it was a dark comedy when I kind of watched it, right?
Yeah.
There's quite a bit of satire, super fun, a lot of Avenue Q moments in there that made me giggle. What did you guys think about that? Was it something you were expecting? To me, it was kind of a shock, but refreshing.
It was like a roller coaster, right? You know?
Yeah. It was more shocking because it was so good.
Yeah.
I was like, you did this in 1 year.
Diana, for you, a brief description of your film, because it is so heartwarming.
It's a film about the relationship between Ah Gong, the old man, and Chip Chip, his little songbird, and how their relationship progresses and matures over the short film.
Was it right in saying that it's somewhat about letting go, the art of letting go, and how difficult that can be?
It's based a lot on personal experience. It's based on also my classmates' experience that we wrote the film this way, and to also give like hope to those who have faced this sort of like parenting style, and that they can still achieve like their dreams in the end.
Yeah, it really is beautiful. And you know what's interesting is when you have a short film, but you can still make someone feel something in that short amount of time, you know you've done a good job, and you did that. This film does that. Let's talk about Full Circle. Honestly, so beautiful. Like I was saying, there's a lot of mystery to it. Obviously, so much research. I learned a lot about the moon.
Yes. Actually, I worked with 20 interviewees, and then they are all like experts or enthusiasts. So I sort of use like their anecdotes, their analogies to form the scene. So they are like little microcosms of, you know, the universal science or the relationship between the moon and the earth. And then I use like the daily objects as some sort of diagrammatic representation of them. Yeah. And then it sort of forms one sleepless night with all their stories.
Its phases are units of time. Month after month.
Having seen her film, what do you think about that?
Impressive, man.
A one-man show is...
It's 11 minutes long.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow.
I mean, but because of the style of the
Right.
film, it's also a little bit more forgiving. So at the start, I had already like thought of the compromise.
Right, but like the amount of people you have to interview and like you said,
Yeah.
you had to... You collaborated with the science center and all that
And
stuff.
extra,
Like,
yeah,
it's all
that
one-man
was pretty
show.
long.
I'm curious on like what is your inspiration from, like how you came up with this idea?
I think everybody is like sort of familiar with, you know, the moon. You know what super moons are. You know what eclipses are. You know, you already have the information through like experiencing the physics of things that are happening on a much smaller scale. So that's something that I also got from like talking to people. And then after that, I decided that I want to go this direction of like the humanistic way of like showing science.
To be able to distill all that information and then to come up with a theme that makes sense, that really resonates with you, I mean, that's awesome. Yeah, great job.
I had to find like like-minded people as well, and then
Yeah.
sort of curate the things that I also wanted to put into the things.
Does anyone have a question about sex? Because now's the time.
What made you choose that topic?
Me and my team really did a lot of research. We talked to many different people of all ages and even some teachers from like primary schools, all that, you know. And I think what we found interesting was all these different perspectives about sex in Singapore, but they all kind of have this similarity where people are like shy or awkward, or they're a bit repressed, you know, that kind of thing. And I thought that was something interesting to talk about. And so that is why the film became this way, it became this multi-generational, like, miscom kind of way. Like,
What was the thought process actually behind like the choice of like the style of the whole animation and the color palette behind the entire film? Because it's so colorful and like at the same time eerie at certain parts and dark, you know, and then so
Yes.
bright.
Avenue 2.
Okay, also a fun fact that of the style of the characters. So they're actually all like phallic shapes.
Yep, I saw that.
Yes,
Actually, I didn't know.
they're all
Okay.
phallic shapes because we kind of wanted.
I didn't know either.
She's like, I didn't know. Oh dear.
Yeah,
But it's subtle, it's subtle.
Where sex is such an integral part of the human species and just all living mammals. And yeah, but for some reason we are so adverse to like talking about it in an honest and open manner.
I think that's kind of why it was so powerful, at least, to be using music as a way to translate some of these messages. So I had a question for you, Diana. That psychology was initially your background, and then you went into animation, which is so interesting. How did you bring your psychology background into this film? Because it is so tender. There's a lot of empathy there that comes through.
Yeah, the motivation for why like Akong wants his bird to sing, why Sheep Sheep wants to be free, and is it believable? Is it realistic enough yet tender enough at certain moments? So like some of the things that I brought was like the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the 5 stages of grief. In the end, it's like the self-actualization when it's free. Yeah.
Tender. I really loved the music too, the sound design on this.
Oh, yeah.
Right. I mean, in tune, I mean, that's the whole idea, is the melody kind of carries the
Yeah.
weight of this story in that way.
It's a very integral part of the whole film. We wanted it to be more culturally set, so we actually took a lot of inspiration from like Singapore Chinese gardens and also the other Chinese gardens overseas.
You guys have been awesome. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Good luck. All right, you guys are great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you for making the time to be a part of this. Let's wish them the best. Don't forget, we're here to celebrate all things film. And so until next time and the next episode of NYFA Real Talk, I'm Nikki Muller.